Hi everyone, it's Donna from Spaceman Paper Crafts, and I am back with another design team video for Gareth at Embellishment.com. I want to focus on some of the dies from G's this time. I'm going to be using this set of flower dies, and this is the leaf set that he's got in his store, but I use these three dies, and I want to make a pop-up card. It's called I've seen lots of different tutorials for it actually. It's called a pop-up Z-fold or Z-fold card, depending on where you are in the world, obviously. So that's what I'm planning on doing today. I've gotten all my measurements and made a quick prototype. So we're just going to wing it and hope it works. So I'm going to be using these dies and these ones from the full set. When you get the set of leaf dies, you get all of these leaf ones, which is really sweet, and then that's a separate set on its own. Okay, so I've got a piece of cardstock. Now if you're using A4, you just need to cut it down to 11. If you're using it in 1/2 by 11, you're fine as you are. And what you need to do, I'm going to do the cutting after because it's easier to score this while it's in one piece and then cut. Okay, that's what I find anyway. So you get your piece of cardstock and you score it at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2. Okay, they're the two score marks that you need. So I've already done that to save a little bit of time. I've done quite a bit of prep work. I've done all my die cutting and everything to save a bit of time as well. So then you want to bring in your cutter, your paper trimmer, and let's hope I can get all of mine in shot. Let me try and put a light on as well. Might be an idea. That's better. I just realised I wasn't recording with the light then. Okay, so I'll just run through this again in case you didn't see the score marks. So you just need a full sheet of cardstock cut down to 11, and then you're going to score it at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2. Okay, so then you're going to put it in your trimmer and you're going to trim it at 4 3/4. Okay, so I'm lining it up to 4 3/4, and that is the base of our card. Now you need a piece that you put at the front, okay, and this bit you cut from the remaining strip that's left, and you cut that at 2 1/8. Okay, so we're going to get all the cardstock pieces out of one piece of full sheet of cardstock. So that's the second piece you need, that's for the front, and then you need 2 liner pieces on the inside. So I would cut this down. What have we got left? I think we'll cut it down to 1 1/2. So you're actually just trimming off about 1/8 of an inch from your 11, and then you want to cut 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 inches long. So 3 3/4 there, and it doesn't matter about the score lines because you won't see those, and 3 3/4 there. And then for this little bit, let me just get my small scoreboard out. So for these 2 little sections, we're just going to score them at 1/2 inch on both sides. Don't worry about that score line in the middle, that's not going to affect anything. So these are going to be the inserts, much like this pop-up card I did, and we folded the inserts in to make the pop-up section there. So it's a similar sort of thing for that. So this is all the scrap you'll have left, which is always good. Okay, so we're just going to fold and burnish all our card pieces. Let me just grab a bone folder. There we go. And we're just going to fold one forward and one backwards. so they're like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with this one forwards, one backwards. Okay, and then with these two pieces you're just going to fold on the score line. If I show you the big one first, so you would fold it as if you were folding in half. Okay, and then what you would do is fold this first flap back on itself like that. So that gets you your Z section or Z section. The other one you fold the same. I mean, it doesn't matter, you can fold it both ways. In fact, it's probably a good idea to fold it in all different ways anyway. Whereas this time what happens is it's going to stick like that, and that's the base of your card, and we're going to put a little pop-up element on the inside of there, so it will close down and then you open it up and have your nice little surprise pop-up element. Okay, so that's the card base. So what I want to do is I want to put some decorative paper on here, and I've got some cut out already. This is from a Grace Taylor pack called Forest Friends, and I quite like this this background. So for the large piece you need to cut your paper to 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, that's for the large piece. And you've got a couple of options with these pieces. They're all going to be the same measurement, both of them, and they're going to be 2 1/2 by 4 1/2, and you're going to need 2 of those. So you could have all the same like I've got here, or you could have your sentiment here or here. You don't have to cover the whole thing with paper. You could just put a piece of cardstock there and write your sentiment. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to take my ATG gun and just stick my paper down. And then take the 2 smaller pieces and do the same. Oops. And I'll get these stuck down now. Right way up done, it might be helpful. Oops, don't want that sticking. So this, cutting them at this measurement gives it a nice border all the way around. Whoops, it's a bit too far. Okay, so we need to stick our paper on before we put our front section on. Okay, so what you need to do is, I'm going to use my ATG gun, but you can use score tape or wet glue or whatever you feel comfortable using. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is stick it down on this side, because while it's open here I'm going to stick my edges in. Okay, actually I think that they are going to be too long, so I'm going to have to trim those. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'll rethink that. I'll cover the whole thing. So I'm just going to get some, I'll just put some tape on here. Whoops. Oh, my ATG gun has cut round itself. Let me just put that down and get another one. Okay, I can't find my other one. So I'm just going to use some wet glue just to, whoops, pop that on there. It's always the way, isn't it, when you're trying to do a video, and I don't know. Okay, I'm going to get that to stick there, like so. And then we need to stick this section down here. Don't know why my ATG gun has gone off on a little tangent by itself. I'll have to fix that in a minute. So some wet glue on there, and you just fold that to the end as well. And we're going to have to give that a second just to stick down. Art glitter glue is really good, it does stick really quickly. Okay, so this is what we're left with on our card base. Okay, so it folds up nicely like so, and it's now stuck to itself. There we go. Okay, so yeah, no, I think these bits will be okay actually. So I'm going to stick our two pieces in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some score tape because I want them to stick really well. Now then, I'm going to take this backer off. Now this is a good tip actually that I learnt from Jennifer at Genevieve Designs, that when you've got score tape, because it's an instant bond, if you put some glue stick on it, the lid just come off there, pulling at the lid and it's already off. If you just put some glue stick on it, it gives you a couple of minutes wiggle room, or a couple of seconds rather, to get them in the right place. Okay, so I'm going to do this so you can try, I can try and get you to see what I'm doing. Now when you stick this in, you want it just below, you see there, you can't, just below that, because we don't want that bit sticking out. So that looks okay, I think. Yeah, and then I'm going to do the same with this one and put that one in. You can get 3 pieces in here. I'm just going to use 2. And some glue stick to give us a bit of wiggle room, and just, well, you want it below this line here, so you're not, so you don't see it. Okay, and then try and keep it even. I think that one's not even, that's why at the back. Okay, that should be okay, so let's just press that down, and that gives us our little folding section there. Okay, so what I did was, I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I've got a border die that does a nice border. I'm not too sure whether to use that, but here are the flowers that I've cut. I've die cut all these out, and I've layered them up in different ways, and I've used some brads that I had in my stash. So I'll bring all those over here and show you first, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. So yeah, the bigger ones have got a nice little spotty brad in the middle, and then as they go down, little smaller brads. So I think, yeah, I think maybe I will. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this and mark where I need to trim. So I'm just going to take it up to where the DSP goes, so it doesn't look too odd. Let me just grab a pencil. Okay, so we've got our little grassy border. So now we're going to work on our flowers, and I've got some acetate as well, and I'm going to prop some up on the acetate get some scissors and decide what size I need. I think what I'll do is do a big one on each one, and then I'll stick some little ones around. So I'll trim that down a bit. So I'm going to carry on and add these flowers, and then I'll come back to you when I'm adding the little green leaves. Hi guys, I'm back and I have put all my flowers on, and I did end up stamping a little sentiment there. I used one of the little blocks also from G Store to stamp my little sentiment on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a look at these little leaf pieces and decide where I'm going to put them. I was going to I think I might add one there. It's just such a shame that it's, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some distress ink and just change the colour of these. Okay, because I want a bit more of a contrast, I'm going to change the colour of these. I'm going to try some Twisted Citron. Let me just get a scrap and just try and change the colour on these so they stand out a little bit against the background, which I never even thought about really, which was a bit silly because I put it all in the same colour cardstock. Okay, so let's see where we're going to add these. Yeah, I think I am going to add one here on the front. So let me just move everything out so you can get a proper look. Get everything out of the way. Oh, my pin. There we go, pop that back in. And there we go, there's our little pop-up Z fold or Z fold card, as I say, depending on where you are. I should have really inked the edges of the grass, but never mind. So it does fold down nice and flat, and then when it opens out it all looks really pretty. So you can use any sort of design really on this. It'd be nice if you opened it and balloons came out or something, that would be nice. So there you go, there's another design team project for G's embellishmentemporium.com using the set of 4 flower dies and the set, I think, of 8, I believe, leaf dies. So please be sure to pop over to Gareth's store. I'll leave the link for that in the description bar below, so you can go and purchase these lovely dies and have a look at what other goodies he's got. Thanks so much for watching guys, and take care. Lots of love. Bye for now.